Alright, hello once again. This is Jeff Scott of Rankin Technical College. I've been coming at you with a series of video presentations for the Rankin Technical College AWD Application and Web Development 1111.NET Framework with Web Databases class. The main textbook for the class, as you can see on the screen, is ASP.NET MVC with Entity Framework and CSS by Lee Naylor. It's a very complex book in many ways in that there's a lot of code, sometimes not a lot of explanation that goes with the code. So I've decided first to go over this textbook, which is Professional ASP.NET MVC by John Galloway of Microsoft and others. That book does a lot of its work based on this MvcMusicStore music store. Now this is 7 years old. All right, more than 7 years old. And I've gone through the first 8 parts, and now I'm going to go through parts 9 and 10. I had some problems with part 8. My music store does allow you to put stuff into the shopping cart, but it's not totally correct. I always wondered, why didn't they upgrade this thing for MVC4 or 5 or 6 or whatever? Well, it's very problematic in a lot of ways. Part 9 is on registration and checkout, migrating the shopping cart, creating a checkout controller, adding an address and payment view, defining validation rules for the order, adding the checkout complete view, and updating the error view. So again, checkout, registration, and checkout. So the first part of the section, we're going to create a checkout controller which collects the shopper's address and payment info. As it says, we'll require the user to register, etc., etc. All right. Now the problem is that right now I can go out, I can bring up my project. Okay, let's go to shopping cart. No, not the shopping cart. Let's see. How about the store manager? And let's go up to store manager details, and let's run that or view that in the browser. Well, that isn't a good start. Let's see, can I put a detail in there? How about 1? So you can see I've got some problems with mine. So there you go. All right, go back to the list. There, that's where I want to be. Okay. So I can come through here. I've shown you this before. I can edit things. I can show the details. I can delete things. All right, that's all good. This should have 10, but for some reason it's repeating it 4 times. Haven't been able to figure that out yet. Not sure why. There's another error. All right. There you go. So I can take best of men at work. I can add it to my shopping cart. There it is. I can remove it from the cart. I'm not going to do that. But when I go to checkout, it says the resource cannot be found. Well, that's what we're going to do now. All right. So the user, will be able to click checkout, and then the idea is if you're not logged in, you'll be prompted to log in. If you're not registered, you'll be prompted to register if you don't have an account. After you've done all that, then you'll be shown the address and payment view. This all has to be created yet. Now remember, one thing about this, it doesn't ask you any credit card or types of information because we're having a promotion. Everything is free if you just type in the word free there. All right, once you fill out the form and submitted the order, it's going to give you basically an order confirmation number and ask if you want to shop some more, etc. Attempting to view a non-existent order or an order that isn't yours will just come up with, say, you've hit an unexpected error. Okay, so migrating the shopping cart. This particular section has got 21 pages in it, and that puts me already to the bottom of page 6. So, while the shopping process is anonymous, when the user clicks the checkout button, it can't be anymore. Typically, that is when you would start to require payment from them. So they will be required rather to register and log in. Users will expect that we will maintain their shopping cart information between visits, so we need to associate the shopping cart information with a user after they complete their registration, or if they've already registered, after they log in. It says here this is actually very simple to do, as our shopping cart class already has a method which will associate all the items in the current cart with a username. We will just need to call this method when the user completes registration or login. Open the account controller class we added when we were setting up the membership. All right. Add a using statement referencing the MvcMusicStore models. Now this could be very problematic because I didn't, since our program already came with an account controller, I didn't put this stuff in. So I may be almost done here. We'll find out, okay? So controllers, account controller. I guess I've already got that one up here, so I don't need it again. It's a good start. Then I have the following migrate shopping cart methods. So let's put this down at the bottom. Copy. Come in here. Again, there's a lot of stuff here that I did not put in. I'm just going to whip down to the bottom here. This is not a small routine. As you can see, there's, what, over 400 lines? More than that. So there we go. I just put that in there down at the bottom. Now there's just about 500 lines in here. Oops. Next, modify the logon post action to call migrate shopping cart method. So let's grab all of this. This is the post of account logon. So logon, and it's the post. There's log off, and I don't have a logon. So as you can see, all right, this is very problematic. Now I can come up to log off. I can actually just put the whole method in there. I don't know if that's going to possibly screw things up somewhere else down the line. Notice that, see that forms authentication and membership. I'm calling stuff that I don't have. Okay. So let's just run through the rest of it and see what it looks like in here. Make the same change to the register post action immediately after the user is successfully created. Then we're supposed to come in and create a checkout controller. All right. Again, I'm going to have a problem because even if I create this, I'm not going to have a way to call it. We can come in there though and add this, try to add this. Keep going on for completeness sake in here. Notice there is no checkout there. It's supposed to be empty. First thing it says we want to do here is, before we even have our class designation here, we want to put this in as. Now, what that means is, this does not mean that you have to be an admin to use this, but it means you must be logged in. So users are required to log in before they check out, which is one of the things that we talked about earlier. Now, they do mention in the handout here on page 10 of 21 that it says, for simplicity's sake, we're not going to deal with payment information. I went out and read the blog on this, and somebody asked John Galloway, they said, would you ever think of going back and putting in PayPal or whatever? And he said, well, that'd be a good idea. It'd be a good idea, basically, but they don't have time to do it. Okay, fine. As in the store controller, we'll add a field to hold an instance of the music store entities named StoreDB. The top of our checkout controller appears here. We need to make sure we're using MvcMusicStore models. And are we? Got those errors out of there. Good. The checkout controller will have the following actions, as shown here on the bottom of page 10. Address and payment get method, which will display a form to allow the user to enter their information. Address and payment post, which will validate and process the order. And complete, which will be shown after the user has successfully finished the checkout process. This will include the user's order number as confirmation. It says, first, let's name the index controller action that was generated to address and payment. Okay, if that's what they want. All right. This controller just displays the checkout form, so it doesn't require any model information. All right, next, page 11. Our address and payment post method will follow the same pattern we used in the store manager controller. In other words, it will try to accept the form submission and complete the order. And if it fails, it will redisplay the form. After validating the form input needs, the validation requirements for an order, we have to check the promo code to make sure that the person put free in there. Assuming all is correct, we will save the updated information for the order, tell the shopping cart to complete the process, and redirect to the complete action. So in other words, if you look on page 11, this is the rest of the post for address and payment. So I took it right from the top there, right after the comment. Here it is. Again, at any time, it is plausible that at any time I might run into problems here. Okay, just because of the fact that, like I said, I did not do the authentication and authorization that was in part 7. Upon successful completion of the checkout process, users will be directed to the complete controller action. This action will perform a simple check to validate that the order does indeed belong to the logged in user before showing the order number for confirmation. Note the error view was automatically created for us. So the complete code for the checker, or the checkout controller is shown there. I've already put it in. Okay, so I should have all of that in there as shown on pages 12, 13, and 14. Brings me to page 15. Adding the address and payment view. Now again, some of this stuff in here has been a bit, for lack of better words, problematic. But we'll see how it goes. It says, now let's go in and create an address and payment view. Right click on our address and payment. Choose Add View. It'll automatically be named for us. All right. We want this to be an edit view according to the template. And we want the model class to be order. Now, this might very well just break. I've had so much trouble when trying to create these. And it didn't break. All right. This view will make use of two of the techniques we looked at while building the Store Manage Editor view. We will use the HTML.editor form model to display form fields, and we will leverage validation rules using an order class with validation attributes. It says we will start by updating the form code to use the HTML.editor form model, followed by an additional text box for the promo code. The complete code for this view is shown on page 16. So what I will do is to come back to here. Just did this and it did work. So let's grab all of the code here. Again, this is page 16. Copy it to the clipboard. Control A, just remove it all and add this. All right, so far it's looking okay. All right, page 17. Of our handout says defining validation rules for the order. Now that our view is set up, we will set up validation rules for our order model as we did previously for the album model. Right click on the models folder and add a class named order. All right, in addition to the validation rules we used previously for the album, we will be using a regular expression to validate the user's email address. Okay, that's fine. Let's just do this. Let's go to models and let's add an order model. We are to add a class named order, but as far as I can tell, that's already in here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is to go back to the handout here, grab all of the code. First thing I know I'm going to need is this using statement, the component model data annotations. Hello. think I'm going to also need this. I thought that's what it was. Using system.componentModel. How I got an S in there, but I did. Alright. I'm going to also need, it looks like, up at the top here. Nope, I don't have anything else. So let's take everything that was in there. This is all on pages 17 and 18. Alright. Copy that to the clipboard, go back to here. Inside of our order, make sure I'm doing this correctly. Looks like it. I'm going to come with everything in here. Paste. Alright, now there could be mistakes in here. Already got that. It's giving me a couple errors. This one here, bind exclude, the type of namespace, are you missing something? Let's look. They want in here system collections generic, system component model, system component data annotations, system web, and system web dot MVC. Alright. Namespace, MvcMusic.models. This bind statement is supposed to be, that's supposed to be up above here. There. Alright. So the way that I've been doing this is if you take a look, there's the order ID stuff, order date, username, first name, last name, right here. First name, last name, I'm doing here. All right. Okay, first name stuff, last name stuff, address stuff, city stuff, state stuff, postal code stuff, oh, not there, county stuff, phone stuff, name, email address, total, and order detail. That is pages 17 and 18. Now again, no clue. I don't think this is going to work because I don't think I'm going to be calling this directly. But let's go back to where we were before. So let's go back to where let's just go back to the store. We'll go to the index, and I'll bring that up in the browser. Since there were errors, no, I don't want to continue. Looks like I may have one too many here, so let's save all, let's build it again. Okay, that worked. Let's again just bring this up. Where am I here? Not the order. Okay. Now, in the handout, so in here, lovely. Well, you can see we're getting an error, but that's neither here nor there. They tell you that after you do this, it says attempting to submit the form when missing or invalid information will now show these errors. Again, the biggest problem I'm going to have is I don't think that this is going to be called. All right. So. Well, now I'm getting all sorts of stuff. Wow. So now everything's pretty much erroring out. What I am going to do, though, is I'm going to give students a copy of this. I would strongly encourage them to look at it, at least at the earlier stuff. And, hell, if they can figure out my errors, please let me know. Okay? All right. Finally, we are supposed to add a checkout complete view. That is shown on page 20. And it says it's pretty simple, as it just needs to display the order ID. Right-click on the complete controller action and add a view named complete, which is strongly typed as an int. So we want to bring up our order. I think that's up already, isn't it? Yep. And we want to find the complete which does not appear to be in here. Okay. So that's the controller that I want in here, not the model. There's complete. That is under the checkout controller, and I think that's right. So I'm going to right mouse click on here, choose add view, which should be named complete by default. You know this already. Now the template is, I think, going to be empty. The model class in here, they've literally just typed in int. I don't know if this will work or not. See, right here, it's not allowing me to add that because it doesn't recognize that. I think even if I come over here to the application, it still doesn't recognize it. So I am not able to add a model class that is strongly typed like that. There's nothing over here that says int. I might be able to go in and do it empty without model. Now that may work. All right. They want us to add at the front here at model int Again, not sure if that'll work okay. It looks like it is. View bag is going to say, instead of complete, it should leave the complete in there. Checkout complete. There and there. And they want us to put a paragraph in there that says basically it's one of those thanks for your order type of things. The default template, as they mentioned, because this is the end of lesson 9, the default template, boy, where am I for time? I'm at 30 minutes, okay, but this is all that's left. The default template includes an error view in the shared views folder so it can be reused elsewhere in the site. The error view contains a very simple error and doesn't use our site layout, so we'll update it. Since this is a generic error page, the content is very simple. We'll include a message and a link to the navigation, etc., etc. Alright, so let's just grab this, copy it to the clipboard, then go back to our program, and under our views, shared, there is that error page there. That's what's in there now. And they want us to change it. The model should be fine. But we're to change the view bag title and the other stuff that's in here. So it looks like that. That is it for lesson 9. Again, another mixed bag, so to speak. When I do come back in just a couple minutes, I'm going to finish this up by going through the last lesson, lesson 10, and as you can see, lesson 10 has final updates to the navigation and site design, and it's a conclusion, a little shorter than the previous lesson. So I'll be back with that in just a couple.